This is the Jillian Greyse Show, Vibrational Architect. I teach the discipline of redesigning the internal patterns that shape your love, your relationships, and the life you quietly know you were meant to live. Whether you're moving through familiar emotional cycles or you're a high achiever who senses there's more available to you, you're in the right place. This is where people learn to master the architecture of their lives and release the patterns holding them back from their inner blueprint. Each episode ends with a guided transmission to anchor the vibration we're working with so you can fully step into becoming the architect of your own life. Join me, Jillian Greyse, as we pull back the layers and rebuild the vibration you were always meant to live from. Hello, and welcome back to the Jillian Greyse Show. Today, we're diving into a transformative truth that I've taught over and over and over again, a truth that sits in the intersection of identity, emotional frequency, and the architecture of your relationship. This episode is about two realities that shape every part of your life. The first is you're not thinking, you're remembering. And the second is your evolution sets the vibration for every future relationship. These two truths are not separate. They're the same story told from different angles. The story of how your nervous system repeats what it knows and how your willingness to evolve determines the love you're capable of receiving. Today, we're going to go through and explore how your emotional patterns become your relationship patterns, how your openness becomes your vibration, and how your vibration becomes the doorway to the partner who can meet you at your next level. Let's begin. First, you're not thinking, you're remembering. Most people believe they're thinking when they're making a decision in love or in conflict or in vulnerability. But the truth is, most of what feels like thinking is really just remembering your past. Your mind is replaying familiar emotional loops. Your nervous system is choosing what it already knows, even if it knows that that is limiting, even if it knows it's painful, even if it knows it's outdated. I see this in my practice every day. A client once told me, I don't know why I shut down every time someone gets close. It just feels automatic. And I said, it is automatic. You're not shutting down because of the person. You're shutting down because your nervous system remembers what happened last time. Your body isn't responding to the present. It's responding to the past. And unless you interrupt that pattern, your future becomes nothing more than your past wearing a new mask. Let me give you a real example. A woman I worked with, let's call her Marissa, kept attracting partners who were emotionally unavailable. She thought she was choosing wrong, but she wasn't choosing wrong. She was just choosing the familiar. Her nervous system remembered the emotional distance she grew up with. It remembered the unpredictability. It remembered inconsistency, and it labeled those things as home. So every time she met someone stable, present, and emotionally available, she felt bored. She got anxious, or she got suspicious. Not because the person was wrong, but because her nervous system didn't recognize the frequency. She wasn't thinking, she was remembering. And until she interrupted the memory, she couldn't evolve. Next is the pattern loop, how your mind replays what it knows. Your mind is a pattern machine. It doesn't care about truth, it cares about familiarity. This is why people say things like, I always end up in the same kind of relationships. I always attract the same partner. I always shut down in the same way. And of course you do. Your nervous system is running on the same emotional software. One of my clients came to me after a breakup and he said, I don't understand. I knew she wasn't right for me, but I couldn't stop myself from repeating the same behaviors. When I asked him, what did you feel right before you repeated them? He paused and he said, fear that she'll leave. And that was it. His mind wasn't thinking, it was remembering. Remembering the abandonment he experienced when he was 12, remembering the heartbreak that he had when he was 19, and remembering the betrayal he experienced at 27. His nervous system wasn't responding to the woman that was in front of him. It was responding to the ghost behind him. This is why awareness alone doesn't change your patterns. You can't think your way out of a memory. You can evolve your vibration. And that brings us to the second truth. Your evolution sets the vibration for every future relationship. When you open fully in a relationship, when you let yourself be seen, when you allow vulnerability, when you stop rationing your truth, You're not securing the relationship. You're securing your evolution. And that evolution becomes a new vibration, a vibration that your nervous system learns to hold without fear, a vibration that becomes your new emotional baseline, a vibration that stays with you long after, even if the relationship ends. And this is why fully opening is never wasted. Even if the relationship you're in doesn't last, even if it wasn't your forever person, even if that chapter closes, the openness that you take on during that relationship becomes your new baseline frequency. Your frequency becomes your identity, and your identity becomes your attraction point. You never lose once you've opened because you carry it forward. You either carry it forward in the relationship you're in, or you carry it forward to the next energy that you vibrationally attract. It is never wasted to open up your heart. I had a client, we'll call her Elsie, who said, I opened up to someone who wasn't ready for me, and I felt like my vulnerability was wasted. And I told her, you don't waste it, you anchor it. Her nervous system learned how to hold openness. It learned how to stay present. It learned how to remain soft without collapsing. And because she anchored that vibration, her next relationship met her at that level. Did she also have the option while she was doing that for her current relationship to evolve as well? Yes. But sometimes partners choose to not evolve for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes it's not in their evolutionary pattern to do so. Sometimes they're a soul who is very stuck in the way that they want to function. Sometimes our free will keeps us linked to the past. None of that is your responsibility. I will promise you, though, if you continuously align from the heart, then when you are in a situation that isn't currently matching where you vibrate from, when that situation steps away, the next one is going to start at that baseline, not behind. You're not going to be relearning, retracing, rebuilding, redoing all of those things over again like we like to tell ourselves. You're going to be starting where that frequency ended, and you're going to evolve from that point. So it always makes sense to continue your evolution and do the vibrational work and allow yourself to be open and anchored, regardless of your fears in every connection that you have. Okay, so let's take these two truths and let's intertwine them a bit. Let's weave them together. You're not thinking, you're remembering. Your nervous system repeats what it knows. Your evolution sets the vibration for every future relationship. Your nervous system learns what you practice. So here's the profound intersection. When you open fully, even with uncertainty, you interrupt the memory loop. You teach your nervous system that there's a new pattern. You teach your mind that there's a new emotional language. You teach your body that there's a new frequency. And that frequency becomes the foundation of all of your future relationships. This is why guardedness is so dangerous. When you hold back, you're not protecting your heart. You're reinforcing the old vibration. You're teaching your nervous system intimacy is unsafe. The truth is risky. Connection is dangerous. And when you carry that vibration into your next relationship, you carry that energy into the same pattern that you've been trying to work away from for however many years you've been attempting to open your heart. But when you open fully, even if the relationship ends, you teach your nervous system intimacy is safe, the truth is empowering, connection is expansive, and that becomes your new baseline. This is how you evolve. This is how you attract differently. This is how you meet your future soulmate. Not by waiting for the right person, but by becoming the right vibration within you. Okay, so how do you apply this into your life? I'm going to give you 3 practices that integrate both truths. The truth that you're not thinking, you're remembering, and the truth that your evolution sets the vibration for every future relationship. These practices are not theoretical. They are lived, they're embodied, and they are the exact tools I've watched transform hundreds of clients over the years. First, interrupt the memory loop. Every emotional reaction you have in a relationship has 2 layers, the present moment and the remembered moment. Most people confuse the two. So when fear rises, I want you to pause and ask, is this happening right now, Or am I remembering something old? This single question interrupts the entire trance. Let me give you a real world example. I have a client who would panic every time her partner didn't text back immediately. She told me it feels like he's pulling away. But when we slowed down, she realized she wasn't responding to him. She was responding to the memory of a partner who disappeared 5 years ago without any warning. Her nervous system was not in the present. It was 5 years back, creating from the same pattern. And once she learned to interrupt that memory, she said, I finally felt like I was in a relationship with the person in front of me. Interrupting that loop doesn't erase the past. It stops the past from choosing and becoming your future. Next, open fully, even when you're afraid. Your nervous system learns through experience, not intention. You can intend to be open. You can want to be open. You can promise yourself you'll be open. But your nervous system only evolves when you practice openness. It doesn't mean oversharing. It doesn't mean collapsing. It doesn't mean handing someone your entire emotional history. It means saying the truth when your voice shakes. It means staying present when your instincts are to retreat. It means allowing a connection without pre-calculating the exit. It means letting yourself be seen without rehearsing the moment. Third, anchor the vibration you want to attract. This is the most important one. Your vibration is not mystical. It's neurological. It carries a signal. That signal is emitted from your body. It is a very scientific understanding to know that we are electricity with a current and a vibration as human beings. Your vibration is the emotional frequency that your nervous system can hold without collapsing. When you practice openness, when you practice honesty, when you practice presence, when you practice vulnerability, you anchor in a vibration that becomes your new baseline. And that baseline becomes your attraction point. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're willing to hold. So anchoring in that vibration means staying open even when relationships are uncertain, choosing truth over protection, allowing emotional intimacy without bracing for impact, practicing the frequency of a relationship you want before it arrives. Your future soulmate isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for the vibration of someone who's done the work. So quickly, when these things hit in the moment and you really start to struggle, I want you to think of certain ways to shift out of that fight or flight mode, or to shift out of that returning back to your past. One of the things that is important to do is when you feel the fear, I want you to stay in the moment longer than you want to. So fear has a short fuse. It retreats really quickly, but evolution happens in that extra 10 seconds that you let yourself sit there and you let yourself move through it. So when you sit in that moment of fear, you're actually saying, I'm not going to run, I'm going to face this. And that begins that process of that rewiring. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It's micro moments that count. Speaking your truth is another great one before your ego jumps in to edit it. Your ego wants to edit every truth you have to make it safe and strategic. But when you start to feel something that's going on, if you feel it, say, I feel myself pulling back. I'm afraid of losing you. I want to be open, but I'm scared. I'm remembering something old. Those statements don't weaken you. They evolve you. They tell your truth in a way that calls it into spotlight so that you can be the one to release it, to give it peace, and to move past it. You are always in control. Let your relationship be a mirror, not a measurement. Most people use relationships to measure their worth. Did they choose me? Did they stay? Did they love me enough? But relationships are not measurements. They're mirrors. They show you where you're still guarded, where you're remembering, where you're still repeating, where you're evolving to. And when you shift that, you shift the entire vibration of that mirror. Be open to seeing it as a reflection so that you can grow and you can evolve in every relationship you have. Last but not least, your future soulmate frequency. This is the part people feel the deepest, the part where your evolution meets your destiny. Your future soulmate is not a person, it's a frequency. And that frequency matches your openness, your truth, your emotional courage, your willingness to evolve, your ability to stay present, your capacity to be seen. Your soulmate doesn't arrive when the timing is right. They arrive when your vibration is right. Your future soulmate is already aligned with your highest vibration. Your job is to evolve into that version of yourself that can meet them there. Okay, I think we're ready for our guided talk down. Every episode, I take an opportunity to provide you with a moment to bring everything we just talked about into your energy and let your vibration come alive within it. So we are going to take a step back, take a few minutes out of our day. We're going to breathe together and we are going to anchor into our evolutionary vibration that we've been calling towards us so we can call in the frequencies that we're aligned with and the people to our life that we're meant to share it with. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders soften. You are not here to force anything. You're here to remember who you are beneath the noise. Right now, your brain is probably trying to think its way through something. A relationship, a fear, a moment of uncertainty, the work you have to do later. But thinking isn't what's happening. You're remembering. You're remembering your old patterns, your old stories, your old emotional loops. Your nervous system has practiced this long before this moment. And that's okay. It's human. So let's interrupt that loop together, gently. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the warmth. Feel the weight. Feel the truth of your own presence. And say quietly inside of yourself, this moment is new. Let your breath deepen. Let your chest expand. Let your nervous system feel what safety actually feels like. Now imagine a soft light, not outside of you, but inside of you, rising from your center. This is your evolution. This is the vibration you're anchoring. It's not about securing the relationship. It's about securing you. Let that light expand through your ribs. Let it expand through your jaw. Let it expand through your spine. Let it fill the places that used to contract. Allow that light to fill those spaces until they're loose and free. Feel the shift, a subtle but powerful shift. This is a nervous system learning a new frequency. A frequency of openness, a frequency of truth, and a frequency of emotional courage. This is the vibration your future relationships will meet you at. This is the vibration your soulmate is already aligned with. This is the vibration that says, I'm safe to be seen. I'm safe to evolve. I'm safe to love. Take one more deep breath in. Anchor it all the way down to the bottom of your feet. And let your body memorize it. This is your new baseline. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Jillian Greyse Show. If today's work stirred something in you, if you felt yourself recognize a pattern, interrupt a loop, or even anchor in a small shift into your vibration, that's the exact kind of transformation that I go much deeper into inside all of my private practices. My one-on-one work is for people who are ready to stop repeating their emotional history and start building a nervous system that can actually hold the life they want. Your evolution is already in motion, and I'm here to support every part of that journey so that you can rise into it. Thank you so much. I'll chat with you again next week. Let this episode settle into your system. And if someone in your life is moving through their own patterns or stepping into their next level, send this episode to them. The vibration you're integrating becomes stronger when it's shared. And if you feel called, liking the show or leaving a review helps this work to reach people who are meant to find it. I'm Jillian Greyse, and I'll meet you in the next episode as we keep rebuilding the blueprint that you were always meant to live from.